So because right now they have the freedom to do that. So as a parent, I think Jenny and we are very careful. We actually try our best. And then we have a good example of our first kid. So the second kid, we do a little bit better, but we still like try to be better. But Pastor James is right. You should really look for a church and look for a supporting thing. But still, that doesn't mean that you're not going to have trouble after that. You're going to continue to have trouble. And I think Caleb can speak a lot. I think he's a really one that in the school, in the fellowship, and I think he attended a few fellowship, which is very good. So for the kids, it's going to be totally different. So you just to prepare hard for that, and don't get scared. I mean, don't get the chin up and things like that. And then you can rely a lot of your fellowship. If you attend a fellowship, you can ask for those like sophomore, junior, or senior, or ask their help to do that. And then that is only for for you how to grow there. And then don't hesitate to reach out to them as well. But at the same time, don't hesitate to reach out your parents as well, because in some time the more you open up to your parents, the parents are going to help you. So keep the communicating channel open, right? So most of my kids, they communicate with my wife, so they don't communicate with me. So my role is I say how much, and then my wife says 15,000. How much? 500. So I say okay, get it from that account. So that's my role. And then because I'm kind of very strict as Pastor James, maybe we are the same. So my kids don't want to deal with me, but you have to make sure that you communicate with one of us, like one of your mom or one of your dad. Keep it going, and then my wife actually told me what my kids doing, so I give her hint, right? So they be able to keep it, but nothing is perfect. I mean, my second one right now is she just finished the first year, so we are still working on that. So.
Okay. Jenny, would you like to give us some tips? Yeah. Okay. Clap hands. Clap hands. Yeah. Jenny 讲一点吧。
Just say something that your experience. Don't. Caleb will say the expert.
不然这样子的，不然等一下我们结束之后再进来。好的。好。After before we finish， 好，谢谢 Jenny， 好，谢谢。
Can I sit down?
Yeah, get a chair. 来。来。
Okay, so I think probably we're gonna talk more to the parents, probably because like the audience. So let Caleb talk to you guys. I think from the as a dad's perspective, I think I'd like to really first thing is like what Pastor Jid said, right? Like bring the kids to church. I think that's what we're all doing, and then continue to encourage them to go to fellowship when they go to college. And the second of all, I think each child is different. Like I can say for me with Caleb, and then I also have a daughter. She's 10th grade, and I don't expect the same thing because she's such a different personality. So I think what I can share is when you go to school, which is about 300 miles away, we're in Philly, and kid also go to Pittsburgh. So it's about 300 miles away.
Wow.
And then stay in the dorm, and then COVID is very, very difficult. It's just like we don't know what's going on, and then so we started like, hey, let's communicate more. So we can. I think Caleb, he's a very obedient in a sense. So we kind of set up Okay, weekly call. Let's have a weekly call. So it started like, the first week, and then it is calling both myself and the mom, Sophie. So we enjoyed like 1 hour, and then he would just start saying, oh yeah, dorm is COVID thing, and don't get to interact with other people, right? And later on, the second week, I finally played frisbee with some fellowship people. And then from there, each week we get, he's got like to entertain us, and I think we talk more even before high school. In high school, we don't really talk that much. I think it's like it's busy, and then we don't really, so we kind of use the opportunity to kind of open up, and each week he'll tell us something. He's like a good storyteller, and I get to know him better in terms of his personality. But as I said, I think each child is different, and we just keep encouraging. But then one thing I think is really, it's like the communication. Like what Joseph said, you gotta open up as well, right? It's both. And then also as a parent, as a dad, I just feel like that your child is maturing. So you gotta respect what they think, and then put yourself in their shoes to see they're not child anymore. They can think. And then also there's also a lot of gap as well. Like cell phone, social media. It's just started like 20 years ago or 15 years ago. So there's a lot of gap, and they just have to respect what they're going through. And then I think one thing I can say is trust and communicate, and then be humble as a dad, like, because we have a lot of discussion about you should do this major, and then Kale said, dude, you don't know what you know, you know more, right? And then we just base on, look at this, how much money you can make with this major, you should just stick to it, don't change it, like blah blah blah. And then but then there's a lot of factors in itself, because technically, as we all know, school is they don't really teach you how to work in the professional life. School is just school. Do you really need to go to prestigious school? Probably not. Like they don't really teach you, unless you go to medical school, obviously, like you have to pay attention to medical school, or else you're gonna be. But other than that, it's undergrad is where you socialize with people, you learn a lot from your friends, and then you open up to a lot of ideas. So one more thing is, as a final word is, I ended up calling into Caleb's church in service. Like I kind of took a sabbatical from my own church, so I just calling in Sunday, hey, remote. I can call it anywhere. And then one of the Sundays, basically, there are 3 people who got baptized on church, Pittsburgh Christian Church, which is, I see, very, very good church. And the 2 of them are actually in Caleb's cell group, small group. One is his Bible study cell group leader. He's a senior. And then one of them is a senior from Pittsburgh. Well, they kind of like a Pittsburgh and Carnegie is kind of Carnegie Mellon, they're kind of next to one another. So their fellowship is 80% Carnegie and 20% Pittsburgh. And another person is, so those 3 people, one of them is a cell group leader. So basically, his testimony is he got his faith through the fellowship. Grew up in the church, but not really seeker. So God has his own timing. So don't worry when your kids are like 80% right in the loss. But as I said, I think there's a long discussion, because we have to look at ourselves too. We might, that 80% probably due to the Chinese or Asian church as a blockage to prevent them to pursue the Christianity. So I think we'll kind of guilty of that. But anyway, the other person, he's actually going into college as a non-Christian, right, Ben? And then he committed, become a Christian, baptized, and now he's decided to go to seminary school. So, and then the other person, she is actually his fiance. They were getting married this weekend, right? Ben and Diana. So I think it's like no worries but just keep praying. That's all we can do. And then God has His own timing. And then unfortunately, I think Christian church, Asian Christian church have a lot of baggage, a lot of cultural things. I'm not talking about this church. I think in general, because a lot of times it's just an immigrant church. There's a lot of difficulties that the youth has to go through. So, but I think I may be wrong, but I think is the Asian in the college actually seek more about God than the Caucasian. I think that's one thing. It's it's a good situation. So I think they'll have that opportunity. I don't have that backup as a statistics, but anyway, just keep going. I think encourage. You guys should go find a good fellowship, and then it's fun. I myself, I experienced that as well. So I learned a lot from fellowship, and then and in college, it's not just about school. Just remember to tell your parents that it's about how do you do the friendship, how do you prepare for career, but the most importantly is still pursuing God to get to know God more. That's why.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Uncle Mark. So can we call Auntie Juliet?
Is Caleb not going to speak?
No, Caleb. Master is later. We are amateur compared to him.
Okay. I don't have much to say because, as you know, we, as parents, we grew up and studied in the Philippines. But I had Jarrell, and he studied at Biola, although it's very close to my house, about 15 minutes ride. But because I said, well, as parents, we're so ignorant about the society here in the States, you go out, enjoy and experience being a street smart, okay? Knowing what's going on for the young kids. But somehow he became so street smart that to us he becomes so weird. I would say the first year he was in college, we asked him, just relax, take it easy, study hard, blah, blah, blah. Don't go to work. He wanted to work because we're not giving him much allowance because we're paying for his tuition fee. But then later on, second year, he got used to school, so he started working. And he was involved in a lot of groups. He has his own group for college, and then he started working as an orientation guy for Biola. So every time he has to go around, so it's like a full-time job, even though it's just a part-time or how many hours. He has to tour students, parents to the campus. So at that time, I thought I have nothing to say. So he went on, but he enjoyed his job, and he also volunteered as a coach for the disabled for the tennis and basketball or whatever. So he is so busy. However, we were surprised that every time he sends us a note that says he was on the dean's list. So I said, okay, he must be doing correct. Okay, and as he graduated magna cum laude. However, he blamed me and Alon for not being a summa cum laude because he said on the first year he was so lax, so much time. So he played around. The second year, being at work and so busy, he is able to structure his schedule. So he is able to organize himself. So he study, even have more time to study because now he is more organized and he knows his time. So I guess that was good. The busier you are, the better you will have good grades, I guess. So that's for that. And I know the pastor talked about Sundays. As close as he is from us, he doesn't come home on Sunday. So at first he goes to the church at Bayola. Then when he find friends, he went with his friends to different churches. So around Bayola, he was able to go different churches until he find a church that he wanted to go to. So you guys being far, I don't know how much you can travel, and with schoolwork, I don't know. But I did expect Jarrell to come home every Sunday. He only come home if he has a lot of laundry for his papa to wash his laundry. The only thing that as parents in Bayola, they have several orientation for the students, and they have orientation for the parents. The only thing that surprised me is the advice of saying, do not call your kids. They will let them call you, is the advice. So I thought, okay, whatever that meant, I don't know. So we didn't call Jarrell to say, hi, where are you? Even though as worried as we were, we didn't call him. So after a week, then he calling, hi mama, okay. First report, he did his laundry, and they do the coin thing. And he spent about $12 because he doesn't know how much and he doesn't know how dry it is. So the second time laundry, it's coming home. That's how he came home. Okay, so I thought before he went to Bayola, we also taught him how to use the washing machine. But I think you guys already wash your own clothes, so that's not a problem. The other thing I told Jarrell is, since the first year they eat in the cafeteria, the second year they are in the apartment, so they have to cook. I said, once a month, please learn to cook one dish at least once a month. He never learned anything. The only time he cooked is when he cooked for his girlfriend. Only what? Tapang. So that's all he learned to cook. Okay, all right. Also, not only that, because he was busy, he cannot eat in time. By that time he come home with 4 boys in the house. By that time he come home, there's no more food. So I have to cook something a little salty, nothing sweet, and put it in the Tupperware to get ready. So I have to cook once in a while, not all the time, but once in a while I prepare that several. So he has food for 3 days, and the rest of the day he go out or whatever, or takapong. And I think later on he found out that he will want to eat in cafeteria. And the food is so good. We even asked Jarrell to bring us there once in a while. Tapko, $10, and you can choose Chinese, Indian, whatever food you want in the same area. So we enjoy that. The last thing that I would share is, I don't know who's the author, but I thought it's it's a saying or whatever you call it. Growing older is mandatory. Yeah. We all grow old, and when Jarrell, we have him back 1 year, so he repeat preschool twice, twice, you call it once and repeat again. That is the psychologist's recommendation, because he was so active and so naughty and stuff. So he said he'll be more mature if he go back. And we were saying, oh, he's gonna be late, but sure enough, that did not hinder him from growing back. And so, but now we say, oh, even now he's married. So time passed. As I said, we all grow old, and it's getting faster. So growing old is mandatory, but growing up is optional. Okay? We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give. I repeat that. We make a living by what we get. Okay? And we make a life by what we give. So I guess this is like when you're serving back after your school. God promised a safe landing, not a calm passage. If God brings you to it, He will bring you through it. Okay? So God be with you. And lastly, I have a verse that's easy to memorize, easy for you to remember. It's in James 4:8. Come near to God, and He will come near to you. All the time, anytime, whatever time, wherever you are, go pray. As the pastor mentioned today, prayer is very important. Pray. Anytime, you can always cast your care to God, and He will surely help you. Okay? I hope I didn't make you go to sleep. Thank you.
Thank you, Auntie Juliet. We have Jenny. Jenny, are you ready?
First, congrats for all those new freshmen. For those, I guess mine is mostly to the parents. I'm not very good parent. I'm not very good mom, actually. Okay, so in other words, I'm very lazy mom. But like both my daughters, when they were in college, I don't call them. Okay, because I remember when Stephanie first in college, oh, finally, just out of the house. Okay, that's Stephanie. Sarah, because Sarah is very close to me. I goes, Sarah, okay, good, Sarah, go to college, that's good. I feel my job is kind of dumb. Okay, so I don't call them. Okay, mostly they call me. When they call me for stuff, mostly it's when they have stress, they call me. The school to them, I think, both of them, I think they have, in the college, they have very happy life, very happy compared to high school, okay? They're more free then, and their financially is very free then too, right? So, I think I only test Sarah is when I see the statements, because I transfer money weekly. She doesn't have a credit card, but she has a debit card. So the debit card is, if you don't have the money, you cannot spend, right? So weekly, I transfer certain money to her account. And then by the Thursday, each Thursday, before I transfer, when I go into her account, I find out it's like $6, $3. Then I go, what? Right? I thought I just transferred 100, right? So I go into her statement, go into her account to see what she spent. Boba $11. Japanese sushi, 40. Then I go, wow, her life is living much better than us. Okay, then I look at her. All the statement, all the drink, okay? Because she loves bobas, right? So, boba, bakery, pastry, okay? Cake. Then I look at us. So I said, Google those restaurants.
She said they have a dog food.
They have, yeah, she has done food, but, I guess that's an extra thing. Sometimes she thinks the food is not good.
Yeah.
Yes, right? Mostly. There's only this kind of situation I test her. I say, okay, test me, call me right now. Call me when you have free time. Call me, we need to talk. So she, of course, she won't call me right away, right? Mostly when she receives those messages, she goes, okay, trouble. So she will call me probably near when I sleep, almost like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Then she goes, hi mom, what's up? Then I goes, what happened? $3, right? I said, if I don't transfer the money today, what are you going to do? She said, oh, really? I didn't know I only have $3 left. Then I said, young lady, when you spend the money, you need to budget it. You need to know how much you have in the bank, right? I said, good thing you have a debit card, so you won't spend beyond your need. Then she goes, okay. I said, what's wrong with school dorm food? What can you eat? Mommy, tastes yucky. I said, but you cannot go every day boba drink, $11, $5, $6 a year, right? You have to, no. Oh, I need to go out with my friends, right? But that's the thing. I just, being a mom, what I can do is, mostly I just pray, because I cannot see them every minute, right? And then I don't ask them too much questions, but mostly I will once a while, weekly, by weekly, I will say, hey, I haven't heard you for so long. What's going on? What happened? Text. Mostly I just do texting. I don't call them because sometimes I don't know they're in the class, they're in the meeting, they're with friends. So I just text them, and then by the texting, I feel like I give them, well, I think both of us, we give them a lot of freedom. Then I always tell them one thing, I said, this world is not perfect, okay? So once in a while, if you make a wrong decision, so what? You are young, okay? As long as you're young, the decision maybe it's not your dad, or maybe it's not daddy or me will let you go for that way, but if you choose that one, right? Maybe the result won't be coming as you think is perfect, so what? Right? We make a mistake. Once you make a mistake, but you turn. You have to bounce back, right? And then if you make a mistake, or if you don't know what to do, you can ask us. But what we can do is we only can give you a suggestion. We cannot live for you, and our suggestion may be not even right because we are not in that situation, and then we don't know what's going on. But if you think this major is not good for you, okay, choose something else. But what I always tell them is, before you jump, you need to make sure there's a boat you can jump, right? And for the party too, because I have 2 girls. So I tell them is, every school, every college have parties, pool party, bed party, doesn't matter, smoke and then drug, doesn't matter. I said, but you need to be smart, okay? Don't ever be because I'm girls, so I said, you are not going to be the last one to leave that party. Okay, don't go alone in case something happens. Your friend can take care of you, right? So if you go to the party, make sure that the drink and then what kind of party. Just be smart, because I'm not there. Nobody. You have to watch yourself, right? So that's it. Go to. I tell my girls is that enjoy life, enjoy your college, because you're only young at once. Right? Because after you graduate, you need to work, that's real life. But in the college, go to a party, enjoy every single moment. That's your life. Because once you reach to 30, it's different party, right? Hey, 30, hey, what do you want to eat? Let's go to Red Paula. Okay? Because once you reach the next stage, that's already different. So when you're 18, 20, 20, that's the best age in your life, so make the best out of it, mistake or something, doesn't matter, go for it. That's just, we all have to go through that path, right? So I always tell them, it's okay, make a decision. If the decision is wrong, it's fine, find another way to come up with, okay? Because then I always tell those two is like, don't look at others, don't compare other people to you. Oh, how come my friend is so smart? I hate those smart people. They don't study, but they got an S in the class. I studied so hard, but I didn't get any. Oh, I hate them. Don't look at those people. You think you're smart, there's other people smarter than you. Okay, you think you're good, there's no better person than you. So there's so many people out there, but just look at yourself and then compare you to yourself. Like, it's your way, your life to run, right? And then that's how I look at it. Yeah.
Thank you to Auntie Jenny. See, moving impart wisdom, ma. Yeah, ma. Yeah, okay. All right, so okay, my turn. I'm not gonna say too much. Okay, so I'm just gonna say, when you go to college, you're pretty much on your own. Parents is not gonna be there, but it doesn't hurt to pick up a phone and ask parents if you have something you're not sure. There's always gray area. I think the problem is stepping into gray area. If you think it's a gray area, you gotta think twice before you do it. Or ask advice, ask parents. Most kids, like your age, they don't listen to parents. They think your friend is more smarter than the parents. But we live longer, okay? We're older, we got more experience. So I'm just gonna say, yes, there's a lot of party. You can say no, you can say you go, but when you go, you just have to be careful. Body system, even your boy, you still can be in danger, right? Still something can happen. So you still need to have a friend go with you. And I think the last thing I wanted to say is, my phone is always open. If you guys need anything, you can always call me. No matter what it is, Auntie will help you. Okay? All right? And that's just what I wanted to say. And I think Boksu, Bekong ma.
Okay.
After that, we give the time to Caleb, and then we'll break.
Okay. Very short. I thought you guys already heard what I said this morning. You were sleeping? Oh man. Very simple. Just 2 words. Number 1, choose your friend. Okay, choose your friend. A friend can influence you a lot deeply. Okay. If you have a good friend, you have a good bright future because he's want to help you in a good way. Like I have so many good friends here. They will help you in times of need. When I was in Toronto, I was all alone. My pocket only $20. I called my mom. Mom, help me! Why money? Oh, you will arrive next week. So I was like, I don't know what to do. Maybe $5 or $20. I don't know how to survive. So I have a sad face in the church, and there's a sister helped me out. She said, James, do you need money? Are you okay? And I said, tell her, you know who the person is? Auntie Jenny. She already forgot about it. So yeah, she forgot about it, but I always remember. So choose a friend, go to church. You will get benefit, a tremendous benefit over there. That is your support. So no matter which city you go, okay, you have to go to church. Never leave the church. Never stop going to church. That's number 1. Number 2, all right. Always that Uncle Joseph said, have a communicate with your parents. Tell them what you need. All right. Either dad or mom, okay, because they were going to pray for you all the time. Okay. So you can do anything in school, but just be wise. Okay, be wise. Don't get into trouble. Okay, don't hang out with the wrong group. Otherwise, you will take time to recover, and you will suffer. So be wise. Okay. Number 3, that I said earlier this morning, you pray. You have to have a heart for the Lord. Okay, the Lord is going to help you to pull you back, pull you out from trouble. Uncle James was making a lot of mistakes before. When I was in college, the dormitory, the girls in one room and the next door is the boys, and then the girls. I thought when I was in Taiwan, is the girls and boys, they are in different room, in different level, in different building, but in SC they just together. I said, what's going on? I was kind of happy. But unfortunately, I didn't live there. I just go visit. So keep yourself clean, pure in heart, because God loves a pure heart person. Keep yourself in pure heart. Okay, then God will prepare a girl for you. Okay, you see this flower? Flower is so beautiful. This year, girl so beautiful, and then you find out, there's a lot of bees go there, but it also a lot of flies. Okay, so which means that even though you are a boy, but somehow a lot of girls will chase after you. Okay, you can ask Uncle Joseph or ask me. There's a lot of girls. Okay, and but you just give your girlfriend to the Lord. If you someone in your heart, or someone is going to interested in you, give it to the Lord. Okay, so Pastor James has not many to say, but one thing is your parents will pray for you. Okay, no matter what you do, no matter what big things you have done, they will always support you, stand behind you to back you up. Understand? All right. So good.
Okay, now we give the time. Caleb, do you want to do here, or you're gonna go to another room?
I think we
Jeremy is here. Yeah,
I know. Then you go first.
talk to the parents.
After.
Or
No.
Is this for the parents or
No.
for everybody? For everyone?
For the parents too, what you don't like about your parents?
parents need to leave.
Mark, you want to step up.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Caleb, if you don't know who I am, but I moved in between 7th and 8th grade to Philly. I'll be a rising sophomore at University of Pittsburgh, one of the state schools in Pennsylvania. But I'll start with like my high school, how I approached college. I took like APs, joined clubs, the competition you see in like high school with grades and all that. I didn't really compare myself too much with others, but I wanted to do well, wanted to like justify all my hard work paying off. I feel like that's a lot of what my friends also felt like. I don't know, I did track, so that took up most of my time, but I would just do track, get home from school, do work, didn't really hang out too much with other people because I wanted to like get all my stuff done. Pitt is a state school. I was actually expecting to go to a better school. I was kind of disappointed when I didn't get into some schools, or I didn't get as much money. So like finances are pretty important. So yeah, don't forget, like someone can go to like a really good school, but they're paying a lot, and it's not like their schooling will be easier than yours. Like you still gotta work no matter where you go. That was something I learned once I got to college. But yeah, that was kind of my mindset going into college. I actually took a gap year. So I graduated in 2019 and took a gap year. So I stayed home for a year. I think it was like I had stress from high school. I also wanted to like take a break, like a little rest before jumping into college. But yeah, COVID hit. So yeah, I didn't really know what to expect that summer, 2020. Yeah, it was kind of rough. I wasn't really excited for college because I knew that everything would be like closed down more. So yeah, I mean, my parents told me like, find a fellowship, all the good stuff we've been hearing today from a lot of the parents. But like honestly, I mean, it's like good, to join a fellowship if you've like grown up in church your whole life. But at least my church, I didn't really feel as connected with the people in my youth group. Or I would go every Sunday, but it's like obligation to go because your parents are there. I think that's how I approached church in high school. So when I got to college, yeah, I think it was in the back of my head, but I didn't that wasn't the number one thing I was thinking of. I think it was mostly just like, who do I hang out with? Or who do I spend my time with? Like a lot of uncertainty there. I felt protected actually. I felt like very, in high school, just sheltered. I didn't really talk to people outside of like either Asian or in my classes or like generally intellectuals rather than, I don't know, like different people. But then like Pitt is a state school, you see a lot of different personalities, a lot of different clubs, groups. And I don't know, like academics for me, so I'm like computer science. You hear like CS is a good field, it's like get a lot of good jobs. But then you hit the classes and they're like really, really tough. You see people around you, like it's really easy to compare. Like I think some people are, like some parents have talked about that. But yeah, like comparing yourself like, oh, this guy has like, I don't know, an easier schedule, like he's having fun. I'm like suffering, trying to figure out why my code has errors all the time. It's like 2 a.m. and I gotta like figure out if I should sleep or just like continue dying, like struggling with code. But like, I think it's really easy to fall into that, especially freshman year. But I'd say like one thing is to find a good community. It doesn't matter whether it's Christian fellowship. I think like you're adjusting to college, and even though it's like fun, it's also unpredictable. You don't know what it's like, and you'll only find out when you're there. But so it's like kind of hard to like process it. But like whether it's in your classes, finding like I don't know someone to study with, or a club, like any interest you have. Like I didn't play frisbee before college, but I started like throwing frisbee with like some of my fellowship, joined like the club. Even though it was like a time commitment, I think like time management, also figuring out like you're being independent, you're on your own. Yeah, so like figuring out what to do in your day is like a great privilege to have, I feel. And even though it's COVID, yeah, I mean it's good to like go out with a friend or two, or just to eat food, get to know someone, or like reaching out to like older people, because I think that's one thing I struggled with in high school, was talking to people older than me or seeking advice. But I think it's very valuable to have, if you have the opportunity to just like share. I think that's always like nice to like break the ice if possible, which is what a fellowship does. But yeah, I guess with parents, with like talking or communicating, I think it's different for every person, but I think for me, right, I didn't really talk to my parents as much before college, but then you start hitting certain like obstacles, I don't know, like laundry or buying stuff or like bank account, credit card, debit card, or like yeah, like I think living on your own, you kind of realize that you need someone to talk to about like just life. And in high school, you're like not really in that situation yet, but your parents have like gone through this, and they're like also a lot older in like a good way. So I found myself like being more comfortable sharing, and they would like provide honest feedback, which meant a lot. But yeah, I think just talking to people is really beneficial, but also the right people. And you can kind of get a sense of the personalities you can talk, like get to know, get to talk to more. Parties, you know, COVID kind of helped me because like there weren't really like open parties, but obviously there's always stuff you can do that's questionable. But I think know your limits, know your boundaries, find people that you're accountable with, or like people that can keep you accountable. And I feel like a fellowship is where you find those people. Like I'm not saying like all fellowships are like that, where you have like really good people. Who knows what's good? But for me, I found that I could share more with like upperclassmen, and they would in turn like pay it forward for like what they learned in college. And I think that helped me a lot with like adjusting on the fall semester. I guess also like taking care of yourself is the last point I want to stress, because I think college, I mean, it's really fun, but after a while you realize that there's like school, club, this or that, and you have to like make time to like fit everything in, and sometimes it gets really overwhelming or stuff like that. So I think it's always nice to like find stuff to do on your own time to help like calm yourself down. Like go for a walk or listen to music, stuff like that. I found that like you might feel really pressured to do a lot of stuff with other people, but if you're not taking care of yourself, or like if you're not in the right mindset with a lot of stuff, it might end up being like detrimental. So it's like okay to say no, but like you'll only find out when you get there. And yeah, like you realize that you can't really control too much on your own. Like a lot of stuff that happens in college is like unexpected, and yeah, like you can join a fellowship, you can join this club, it might be good, but then something will happen and you have to adjust to that, and then you realize like, okay, who do I go to for help? I mean, that's like kind of what got me into the fellowship more, and like serving, talking to people, and realizing that yeah, God really is in control, but you don't really know that until I feel like high school I never would have thought about like a lot of the Sunday school stuff about God being in control or something, all of that. But yeah, I mean, you just have to know your priorities, know where your heart is, because you can go to church every Sunday, but if you're going there just because you want to like, I don't know, for like the wrong reasons, or like if you're going to school just to get a job, or like college just to get a job, I mean that's neither good or bad, but you just realize like, okay, I'm doing this for this purpose, I'm doing this for another purpose. When things start piling up, what do I place my value in more on certain things or the other? But yeah, I mean college is fun too. It's like 4 years. I mean, yeah, teachers said like make the best out of it, but don't be like too like wild or extreme. Yes. You guys will be fine. So, yeah.
Okay, so at this point, boys, you can ask any question you want. So you, Caleb, and Jeremy, go to the TV room. You can go now. Okay, and we give the time to Auntie Joanne. Auntie Joanne will talk to the parents.
What?
What? Huh? Yeah, take Jeremy with you. Take Jeremy with you. Go to the TV room. Caleb, go with them. You can ask question. You curious something? You ask him. You ask Caleb. They already been to college. Okay, so they will answer your question. You're the same age. You don't need to be shy. Wait for your turn. No, you just need a laptop. Yeah, you just need a laptop.
Just bring the laptop with. Just bring
Yeah.
Jeremy with you.
Yeah, just take Jeremy with you. That's it.
It's a Zoom.
Yeah. Okay, and then we need the Auntie Joanne. Auntie Joanne is gonna share with the parents.
Here, she's right here.
So even though the college, find your right belonging. Don't focus.
Go. Okay, so we have Auntie Joanne here to share with the parents.
Send the check.
How much?
How much?
Then I just want to share. I don't know if it's gonna. I thought we're done yet, but no. I just want to share with the parents, right? When you go, cause you're gonna drop them off, right? So you go drop them off. Yeah, you go cry, right? Yeah. Oh yeah. You do. Yeah, cause there's a drop off day. You go and you prepare everything for them. Yeah, then you go. But then I mean, you've heard everything that they said about you have to pray, but I think it's really important you pray for your kids every day. The minute you stop praying, the devil starts working. So that's very, very important. And then the fellowship, yeah, that's I did that for Jeremy. Like, find a fellowship for him, find a church. He didn't go to the first church, and he didn't stay with the first church, but he finally found a church that he liked, fellowship during the day. But everything that they talk is good, but then how do you implement it, right? So let me tell you what I did. He gets an allowance, but wherever he charges, I go and check the menu. I go how far it is from the school to see how he's going there, right? So he's very far from school or is it close, right? So I go check and I go pull up the menu. What are they selling? Because sometimes the name is like, oh, what are they selling? So I want to see if they're selling alcohol, if they're selling anything. Yeah, so it's boba. Yeah, it's boba. So I do that. I did that. And then you want them to go to church, yeah, but how do you make sure that they go to church? So I call him, what did the pastor talk today? What did he discuss? That's how I'm checking. So I mean, these are just what I went through, what I did. Not perfect, yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of challenges along the way, but that's how I did it. So, and then just keep in mind, for holidays, so you send them off like September, right? Next holiday is Thanksgiving. Mine is out of state in Boston, right? So I make sure that he comes home, Thanksgiving, Christmas, very important, spring break. Because that's then when they go crazy, right? Spring break, you see all these things, so I make sure that he's home, and then summer. I think around the fourth year, then when he turned 21, said, Mom, can I go with my friends to New York? So, okay, that's fine. Yeah, but the first few years I made sure he's home because I don't want him to go around and get mixed up with all those things. Just when school is off, right, then they go crazy. Yeah, and expect there's sex, alcohol, drugs, and damsel in distress in college. It's there. Don't think that it's a private school or especially, I mean, UCR is a big campus. You see all sorts of people there. Azusa Pacific's a Christian school, so it's a smaller school also, but it's the same. Parties, alcohol, they're all over. So Or hoping that this time they know now that they need to stay away from it, but you have to keep on checking. Yeah, you trust. So remember what Draga said, trust but verify, right? You trust, but you check. And then find out who their friends are, right? Yeah, because you never know. And for me, it's one semester at a time. Because there will be a time I said, oh, I don't feel like I want to go finish. Oh no. Yeah, so, and then the finances, I mean, it's a regular thing. Sometimes I forget. He would send me an emoji saying, it's asking for money. He sent me recently something from Bernie Sanders, like asking for money. Yeah, so the schedule of when he gets the money. And Sarah gets negative, like $3, my son goes negative.
Oh, yes, Stephanie did that one time.
Oh,
She got a -5, but the reason is she transferred all the money to her saving, and then her checking, she forgot. There's no money.
oh,
So when I look at it, I go, what? Negative?
Jeremy though just keeps on spending. So I have his account is tied to mine, so I can check. Then later he opened his own, then I don't know what's going to that account, right? But the main account, I control that, so I kind of like check where it's going. And then let them know that, I didn't do that with Jeremy, but for young boys right now, I think you give them, before they said give them a quarter, so that when they get stuck somewhere, put it on the phone and call me, right? Now give them an Uber account. So this is an Uber account, whenever you get stuck, right? Nobody can take you home or anything. Here's your Uber. Doesn't matter where you are. Take your Uber. I'll pay for it. So I think that's important. So you give them like a lifeline kind of. Sometimes if they don't want to know that they're out there partying, yeah. But go and sometimes I go check also where the beginning point and end point of the Uber is. I do that, but I know that but you get to keep an eye on our kids. Yeah, that's just my experience. I'm 5 years into it, one more year, I'm still praying. Because it's not over until the fat lady sings, right? So, and that thing. And then I was lucky because Jeremy's girlfriend was from college, from high school, right? So I think it was steady. Now they broke off, right? But I think your boys don't have girlfriends yet. They'll encounter girls in school, and there'll be girls that will be after them. But you pray. You pray every single day on your knees. The minute you get up on your knees, the devil starts working. That's where they get them. So, and then I'm just giving you tips on how I did it. Just to we know have the things we have to do, but then how do you actually implement it? That's how I did it. Yeah. So it's not smooth sailing, but God's grace every day gets better. Yeah. And at least I call him. Joe, you don't call, I call. So what are you doing? Where are you? Who are you with? I do that. And he does pick up my call when I call, so. Because when he does that, right, it's like your phone is tied into mine, right? So who's paying for a phone call? So you pick up my call. So sometimes I do that. So you can't not pick up my call, my phone, when you make my call when I call you, you have to pick it up. So sometimes I get strict that. And also what I did was, I said, if you get an A, I pay for it. You get a B, you pay half. You get a C or D, you on your own. I'm not paying for college. I did that. So just to keep it, because they will not give. I mean, they won't give you the grades. Like you pay for college, but then they're not going to give you the grades. He has to give you permission. The kid has to give you permission.
Even the
to actually go in and go,
doctor's appointment after 18, they're on their
Yeah,
own.
it's like your bill comes to me, but then I cannot see the grades. Right? Yeah.
When they see the doctor, it's like you
Yeah.
cannot see the record.
Yeah,
You cannot
because
see their records, they're on
it's
their
for
own. Yeah, so you have to wait
privacy.
until they tell you. Yeah. The bills come to you, yeah. But mail. Yeah, you pay the bill, but you didn't access the information. Oh yeah, yeah.
You lose everything. At this point, you lose everything.
Yeah.
Only the money.
Unless the
Yeah, you just
Once it's 18.
unless the kids have the permission, write
He has
down
to
your
give you
name.
permission.
Says okay, Jenny time, Joseph time can see.
Yeah, they have to give you permission to actually
Permission,
access
and
their
then in
records.
the school you will see the GPA.
Then why don't you get it first before you turn 18? 救一下啦。
No, the school won't do it. The school
School
won't
will,
do it.
yes,
Oh,
yeah,
they won't.
it's by law.
Anything mistake, kick you out as a parent.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Even doctor's office. You say, oh, can I make appointment for Sarah? I'm sorry, your name is not in the list. Then you cannot. So unless Sarah says Jenny Chai can make a
okay,
doctor
yeah, they give you
appointment, yeah, authorization for privacy.
So these are the things that we face with kids go to college, but that's why it's very important. You just leave everything to God. You leave everything. You got just trust that eventually, even if they go this way, like go sideways, they eventually will go back. Yeah, but prayer, you have to sing every single day. You have to go on your knees praying. It's a different world out there, different than what we're used to, different what we think it is, right? When I was doing the tour, I was surprised that they're co-ed. Their school, their dorm is co-ed. Same bathroom.
Yeah, somebody shower.
Oh yeah, there are schools like that.
I'm going to college with my girl.
Yeah, and think your kids are not your property, right? Eventually, they're not your property. But eventually, they have that's the life that they live, right? So you guide up to now, but even though you guide from afar, but that's how I'm showing you how I did it, how I was tracking what he's doing. But so far he's been I'm thankful. I'm year 5 already. I have 1 more year, so a lot of the time, yeah. So it's a daily thing, yeah. So okay. Anyway.
So parents, do you guys have any questions? We have all veterans here that can answer your question. Any concern?
Whenever you have issues, you have questions.
But they're only mandatory to stay in a college dorm for 1 year.
Not necessarily. Not everybody has. Most of them do. No, some don't have capacity. Like used to Fullerton, they said they have too much students. They can stay. If you're local, you can stay at home.
Yeah, depends on school.
Depending on school, yeah. Depending on school, not everything's like that. Depending on the school. You have big school, small school, yeah. On one hand, I'm lucky because Jeremy's school, it's a small school. It's sciences only. So all his friends, they're studying. If it's exam, they all have exams. And like bigger schools, it's gonna be difficult because then you have people dorming in that have different major, right? Some's majoring arts, some majoring different stuff, right? Yeah. On one hand, I felt lucky because it's a very small school, it's a private school, and then all his classmates are in the same program. So if there's a chem exam, they all have the exam. They have everything. They're all the same schedule. Bigger schools a little bit difficult because you have all sorts of people rooming together, right? Yeah. So, but
All right.
No question, parents?
No
We
question.
end here?
We end here, huh? Since Joanne is the last person, can Joanne, would you like to have prayer?
okay.
Yeah. Let's pray.
Early Father, thank you for the time that we are gathered here together. Thank you for friends that have visited and given wisdom or guidelines to the parents that are here. I pray, Father, you just be with our kids. I know they're not ours, they're yours, but I know you've given them to us for a short time to nurture, to guide, to hold them. But we just lift them up into your hands, Father, because we don't know what lies ahead, but you do. And I pray that they will be consistent in their faith, they will stand for what is true and what is right, and that they will spend time with you every single day, and that we will be able to improve our communication with each other, and that you will just guide us and give us the wisdom of how we need to talk to them, how do we deal with them, and I pray that you will just lead us and guide us, and I pray that we will hold on to the assurance that you will be watching over them, and that we know that you love them and you love all of us, and I pray that we will just lean on each other and just with your guidance, and that the Holy Spirit will just be with all of us. And I pray this, Father, in the precious name of your only Son, Jesus Christ.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you. We can go there and we have some food to eat 哈。多谢多谢。你知影这是上帝迄段尔。